start the meeting tonight. Eddie O'Neill, would you lead us in prayer, please? Okay.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we bow before you, God. We just stand in awe of your wonderful mercy and grace and love that you bestow upon us. God, we're thankful that you let us live in this country, Lord. We're thankful, Lord, that you let us live in this community with so many wonderful people. God, we ask you, Lord, to help this board lead a community with wisdom, God, and kindness. Be with them, bless them, God. Continue to bless this community, God. Give us all the desire here tonight, God, to leave this community in a better place, God, than we found it. Father, all these things we ask in thy Son's name. Amen.
Amen. Join in pledge allegiance to the flag of our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. To unfinished business, we approved the minutes of January the 11th, 2022, which was a regular board meeting. And then we'll approve the meeting, our call meeting on January the 20th, which again was a special call meeting. So, Commissioner Patterson, have you had a chance to look over the regular meeting minutes?
Yes, I am. I have no problems or objections.
Okay. Commissioner Surgeon?
I'm fine, sir.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes from the January the 11th, 2022 regular scheduled board meeting and ask for a second.
I second.
I'll make that motion. I think I said that. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Okay, and the next approval will be from the scheduled or from the special call meeting, which was held on January the 20th. Commissioner Patterson?
I'm sorry. Can you tell me that one more time?
Yes, sir. It's the approval of the minutes for the special call meeting, which was held on January the 20th. Did you notice any errors or omissions in those?
No, I have no errors or omissions. I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Surgeon?
I'm good.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes from the special call meeting held on January the 20th, 2022. I'll make that motion and ask for a second.
I second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Give Glenn credit for that.
Don't want to leave nobody out.
No, I hear you. Okay. So number 3 is a variance request, and it's an unfinished business table from last meeting from Rodham and Ainsley Dayan to build a new home 14 feet from the edge of Enchanted Circle and 20 feet from the center line of Enchanted Circle. Commissioner Patterson, do you have anything on this, sir?
Well, I looked over it, and I feel like with their amended request, the measurements are within what we usually go with, so I don't have any issues at this time. I sure don't.
Okay. Commissioner Surgeon?
No, sir. I've looked at it too, and it's I'm fine with it.
Okay. So I know we had some opposition last time, and we also had somebody for it. We made the changes for the request, and upon, we sent, Mr. Nicholson went out there, Keith Nicholson, he's our building inspector. He went out, and I think there were some changes Mr. Bryson, that you were gonna make, have those changes been made?
Well, they'll be made when the concrete is poured. We have to, we're pushing the retaining wall back for parking, so there won't be any interference in the road.
Okay. So no, that was a question, you know, for the blockage of the road and the interference from the road. That was a question, so you will be taking care of that, correct?
Yes, and we submitted those to Keith, and we've also sent the new plans for approval from the homeowner that coincides with the plan for parking, and we'll be bringing those to the building department upon a thumbs up.
Okay. So based on the numbers that we've got now, and with the recommendation of Keith Nicholson, who's our building inspector, there was no issues with that, according to Mr. Nicholson. So that being said, I'll ask for a motion that we approve the variance request from Rodham and Ainsley Dayan to build a new home 14 feet from the edge of Enchanted Circle and 20 feet from the center line of Enchanted Circle. I'll ask for that motion.
I make a motion.
I'll ask for a second.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. All right, under new business. Number 4, we have a variance request from James and Janine Ball to place a carport 8 feet from the property line. And Mr. and Ms. Ball also have a letter from a neighbor giving their approval for it. So, Mr. Searcy, you have anything on this one?
No, sir.
Mr. Patterson?
No, I think that's satisfactory with the permission letter from the neighbors. That should be fine.
Okay. All right, so I'll ask for a motion that we grant this variance request for Mr. and Ms. Ball to place a carport 8 feet from the property line. I'll ask for that motion.
I make a motion.
I'll ask for a second.
Second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right. So number 4 was from the Future Business Leaders of America, FBLA group. It's a proclamation, and Miss Stone, she's not here. She had to leave. She was down earlier, but I told her I would read this, so bear with me on this. It says, Future Business Leaders of America Proclamation, February the 13th through the 19th, 2022. Whereas, Future Business Leaders of America, Phi Beta Lambda, is a nonprofit educational organization whose first chapter was established in Johnson City, Tennessee in 1942. And whereas, Pennsylvania's first FBLA chapter was chartered at Blairsville High School in Indiana County in 1943. And whereas, Pennsylvania FBLA was officially chartered as a state chapter in 1952. And whereas, Pennsylvania FBLA has grown now to encompass 13,000 members statewide and over 200,000 members and advisors nationwide in middle schools, high schools, colleges, universities, career and technical schools, and private business schools. And whereas FBLA PBL is a professional business organization dedicated to bringing business and education together in a positive working relationship through innovative leadership and career development programs. And whereas members perform community service activities and strive to build a student's understanding of the realities of the modern business world. And whereas FBLA teaches middle school and high school students basic business and leadership principles and assists in the transition from school to work. Now therefore, I, Jamie Hensley, Chairman of Fannin County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim February the 13th through the 19th, 2022 as National FBLA Week in the County of Fannin. You may need me to read it again.
Yeah, could you go back through that?
Watch it tomorrow.
Watch it on video.
All right. FBLA, honestly, it's a great little organization there, and they do a lot for our kids to, just like it says, to transition from school into the work environment. So
You're doing good with that here.
thanks, Shannon.
Butterfinger.
Thanks. All right, moving right along. Number 6, Executive Director Sherry Morris with the Fannin County Family Connection. Ms. Morris.
Good evening, Chairman Hensley and Commissioner Searcy, and somewhere out there in virtual land, Commissioner Patterson. I'm Sherry Morris, Executive Director of Fannin County Family Connection. And thank you for allowing me some time on the agenda this evening to discuss Fannin County Family Connection concerns. Almost everyone knows Family Connection is a location for the food pantry in the county, but we do a host of other activities. We offer day services whereby those who are homeless can cook themselves a hot meal, take a shower, wash their clothes, and use our phone and internet services. We also serve as a valuable source of knowledge of area resources for those who are less fortunate in our county, and daily we help families find needed resources. We have a clothing closet and collect blankets and linens year long. If a family has a fire, we help with all sorts of resources and material goods to get the family back on their feet. We offer free firewood during the cool months, and this November and December we gave away over 1,000 new coats to our community's children. We operate a free library on site with numerous books and shelves full of brand new books for our children to take home with them from their pantry visit. We also have an after-hours little library. We teach the Darkness to Light program, in which adults learn how to recognize the signs of sexual abuse and molestation in our youth and how to help those youth who are victimized. In the year ahead, we will develop life skills curriculum and then go on site to teach the skills at our income-based housing locations throughout the county. We host quarterly blood drives as well as free quarterly mammogram services from Memorial Hospital in Chattanooga. And this year, we will conduct our second poverty simulation, which helps others understand the challenges of living in the crisis of poverty day in and day out. And that's going to be held on March 16th. And we welcome you and hope that you will come and join us. And of course, we offer what we're best known for, which is the food pantry. The pantry serves people who earn an income that is 130% of poverty level or below. And for us, that's about a family of 4 can earn about $630 weekly and be able to be eligible to visit our pantry. In 2021, Family Connection served 20,536 visits from 7,143 families. On average, 1 in 6 Fannin County residents utilize the services of the food pantry. We assist with the summer meals program each summer, and with the partnership and distribution volunteers from Faith Presbyterian Church and the Jewish community of Blue Ridge, we delivered food boxes to 724 senior households every other week for 4 months over the summer months. The number of seniors that we serve continues to increase every year. We're grateful to our community and to you, our commissioners, for your support during the very difficult 2021 season as families struggle to get back on their feet after the effects of the pandemic. Our ask for tonight is that the Fannin County Board of Commissioners serve once again as our fiscal agent to receive the funds from our state organization, Georgia Family Connection Partnership. The Board of Commissioners have graciously served as our fiscal agent for many years, and it is now time to ask for the 2022 and 23 year. And I can't believe that we're saying 2022 and 23. Also, the board provides some funding each year for the operation of Family Connection. We are very grateful for the help from the commission budget, and we always put those dollars to good use in serving the citizens of Fannin County. Thank you for your time and thoughtful consideration of our request.
Sherry, can I ask you a question? How many people help you out there?
We have 3 full-time staff members, only 3, and we have a group of about 70 volunteers who are in and out of our building all week long. Some of them serve, we have the pantry open 4 days a week. Some of them serve each and every of those 4 days. Some of them come and serve a 2-hour shift. But we have about 70, and we have a group of 15 board of directors. Our chairman, Jim Yakavon, is with me tonight, as well as one of our board members, Gordon Riddock. And so we have 15 members, and they do a lot of the heavy lifting and the fundraising and that sort of stuff for the organization as well. But the 3 of us who are there full-time, it really is a full-time job.
Well, God bless you for you and your service and
Thank you, John.
everything, because that means a lot for our people.
Well, thank you. We are blessed, and every day that I serve there, I understand just how blessed I am.
That's good to know. That's very impressive. Anything we can do to help as a commissioner, I'll be there to help.
Thank you, Commissioner.
To be honest with you, I think we're the ones that are blessed to have people like you
Yeah.
and the volunteers and the staff that you have
Thank you.
to provide this. I think the
Absolutely.
people who you serve are, it's just amazing. And to me, I just be honest with you, it's a staggering number.
Yes.
7,100 people here in this county.
Exactly.
And just thankful that you provide that service for them.
Well, thank you. And without the good people of the county, I mean, what we get from the state is a very small stipend in reality. It's $48,000 if you want to know. And then we apply for all sorts of other grants, but there are very, very many generous people in this community who help us operate.
What's your biggest need right now besides cash? Is it just funds?
Well, I sent a partial note to Chairman Hensley this past week. We are really going to be in need of getting a propane backup generator. We do not have any backup plan there, and we house so much of the food that's in our freezer and in our refrigeration that if it were a long-term outage, there would be thousands of dollars of the community's money that would ruin. And then we're working. Robert Graham is working to get the Red Cross out there and see if we could, at some point in the future, become a shelter, a warming shelter, or whatever in need when there's some sort of catastrophic event, so that we could have that facility up and running. We have 23,000 square feet in our meeting room. We have 5 restrooms, we have 2 showers, and we have probably as much food as the smallest grocery store here in town. So we're hoping that we could do that. But that is really our biggest need at this point.
Have you checked cost on?
$60 grand.
Let me ask you a question, Ms. Dawes. Does any of that federal money that we have, does that apply for this since it's helping our people?
I haven't looked at it or thought about it that way, but I can.
I'd like to look at that because I'd like to make sure that you're took care of. I mean, because that's helping our people.
Sure, so you're saying that 60,000 and y'all could become a certified warming center?
That would give us the power that is necessary to run all of our systems, all of our heating and air conditioning systems, all of our refrigeration systems and everything. And so Robert is helping us to bring out Red Cross to see if there are any other needs that we have to fill at that point in order to be able to do that. But I think it would be a great asset to the community to have that.
I think we'll check into that because I'm willing to see about that.
My gut says yes, I just need to look.
Well, thank you so much. We would appreciate that. We've already received some favorable from the roundup, from Tri-State Roundup. This would be a propane unit, of course. But we've received some favorable nods from Tri-State Roundup. Pete Folger and Folger's Gas has agreed that if we get this, that they and their staff would come out and do the propane part of that as a donation. And so we would be looking for other grants as well. So.
community's good. I mean, we live in a great community.
Well, absolutely. We couldn't run without this great community. I mean, there's 3 of us out there. How do we serve, 21,000 visits with 3 people who are employed,
And
We have
from
so many
children up to the
volunteers.
elderly too.
Right.
I mean, that's just a good thing to do.
You accept donations like for new or gently used blankets or? what?
Absolutely, all year long. And so when we gave away those 1,000 coats this year, each family, most families have 2 children, so, we were serving around 600, I think it's 609 families. But each one of those families also received a blanket. And that comes from this community going over to the News Observer and taking a free coat, taking a coat over there, a new one, still with the tags on. The News Observer brings that over to us. And in that partnership, we do the distribution. And so folks take that to get their subscription to the News Observer. And so that's a gift to the community from that newspaper as well. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
Makes you just feel good.
It does. It does. Come volunteer someday. You'll feel really good at the end of the
My
day.
wife won't let me out already anymore. I mean, God, I gotta get a permission slip to come.
Well, we thank you and we hope that you'll consider our request to serve again as fiscal agent.
Thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
your work. God bless you.
Thank you.
We
Commissioner Patterson.
appreciate you, Sherry. Thank you for your leadership.
Thanks, Glenn. Appreciate it.
All right, so, what we need to do is vote on being fiscal agent. I'll make a motion that we, become the fiscal agent for fiscal year 2023. I'll make that,
I second.
all in favor?
Uh,
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate all you do.
Your forms will be in your email.
Good deal. DocuSign, right? Like it. All right, number 7, Eddie O'Neill, Director of Recreation, for the award of the bid proposal.
So I think we opened the bids last week. Just to reiterate, Sherry's got that, you can double check me, but I think we had the 4 bids. Integrated was the lowest bid by a couple $100,000. So I've checked on their work, very reputable. So my recommendation would be award that for the cheapest bidder. They were cheapest bidder by about $206,000.
Got my vote.
Yeah, makes a difference.
I actually went down to Eastridge. They've done a bunch of work in Camp Jordan Parks and Rec down there. Maybe familiar.
So you saw their work. It's,
Yeah, it was, that's a large place, but it was really fantastic work they've done at that park. So I'm fully satisfied with their ability to do what we need. What we're doing would be a much smaller scale than what they actually done down there.
And I know it's broken up into 4 parts. 6 sounds like, the second part to each was, we're gonna do like part 1 and 2. of this.
Yeah, I think, the total $950,000 doing this out of our SPOS budget, we won't be at that range at that time. There's probably, Sherry, $500,000
Yeah,
now in
there
our
is.
SPOS budget. So we got opportunity, we could do the 2 fields irrigation later, or we could do 1 field with irrigation and tile. So there's some different opportunities to do, and what I'd like to do is just see where we're at budget-wise, if that's okay with Commission Board at that time. And these guys all know that we need to break ground as soon as our softball, baseball season ends.
so what are you looking at? What are you looking at? for right now
Just
this-
doing the 2 fields, if we took out the irrigation part,
Uh-huh.
Commissioner Cersei, that'd be around $690,000, which we would have that by
Okay.
that time. Yeah.
And that would complete those 2 fields.
That would complete those 2 fields, yes. And we can always come back and add irrigation at any point in time.
Okay.
And I actually met with the guy they use to do the fields, and he explained to me how, if we do irrigation later, how they would do it. So it's not really invasive, so.
How much is it gonna cost for the irrigation part of that?
The irrigation part of that is over 200,000.
And is that gonna do all that out
That, that would do both of those fields, and we would have capacity to go and do the big field 5. We could just tie in whenever it was.
So you-
But it's actually pumping it out of the pond, is what we're doing. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's priced to pump it out of the pond and have a backup well. It's a lot of water to irrigate 3 fields. And we can do it, you know, we can be careful on how we irrigate and do it without a backup well and save a bunch of money there. So there's a lot of options on how we want to do it. And it really depends on where we're at, SLOSS dollar wise, at the time of construction. So, but I definitely like to do those 2 fields. You know, irrigation could come later.
Okay.
Commissioner Patterson, any thoughts on this?
No, I have no issues or concerns. I just feel like that, Eddie, been in this business a lot and seen a lot of the fields and what they need. I like his recommendation.
I'm excited to see what we can do with that, once we get them up to par.
Yeah.
I know we hosted some softball.
Yeah, we
tournaments last year.
hosted that World Series. I've been contacted by 2 other guys that do World Series with a different name on it. And the guy that done the World Series, his comment to me was, if those 2 fields would look like the field we finished last year, I would sign a contract with you and do it every year here. But, you know, those guys want those, obviously what they charge for a tournament fee, they want.
How many men's softball fields do you have out there?
I don't have nothing big enough for big muscle up guys like you.
Oh, yeah. I need to tell you now.
For a while. So, yeah, I think moving forward, that's gonna help us out.
Yeah, we'll just play it by ear, budget wise, see how.
Yeah.
We should be good SPOS wise with this 6 9 but, you know, I can't predict the future of tax collectors.
All right. Well, and all we're doing today is, looking to, give this to integrated property.
And we'll post those in the procurement registry and make it public. who the manager is, and that's your commission.
All right. Anything else? Commissioner Churchville?
No, sir, sounds good.
All right. Well, I'll make a motion that we award the bid for the ball fields down at the rec department to Integrated Properties, LLC. I'll ask for a second.
I'll second.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you, sir.
Got couple other things, just real fast. I'd like to upgrade the camera system and add cameras outside in the rec center. There's nothing in the rec center, no cameras in any parking lot areas. And we've had a couple issues with kind of people hitting people's cars and driving off and all that stuff. So I do have 3 bids for, to upgrade the cameras inside. Basically inside in the gym courts, you have 2 cameras in the center trying to capture everything on all 4 courts, right? So, and when the curtains are down, you can only see 2 of the courts, partial courts. So what I asked for bids for was to upgrade all that in the rec center with additional cameras and cameras that get all of the parking lots at the rec center, especially now that the new outdoor courts are there also.
Yeah.
So I had a bid from, and this would come out of my budget, not anything else. I had a bid from Mount Valley System. They bid it for $12,998.21. ETC Security bid it for $13,855. And Blue Ridge Surveillance for $9,288.39.
Who you got now?
It's ETC currently.
You're still with ATC? You getting good service?
Yeah, it just, you know, it wasn't well designed when it was installed, you know, not anything with ETC as far as what they do, but, you know, there's just not enough coverage.
Yeah.
I mean, we had an incident, had to bring in some deputies, and it's really not good clarity, it's really hard to tell, so it's time to upgrade that. And there's obviously nothing in the parking lots at all, we can't see anything.
How many cameras would that give you extra?
That would give us 5 extra cameras, I believe, Commissioner.
I'm looking at the bids from Blue Ridge Surveillance, and the next one up is like $3,700 difference.
Yeah.
Is this for the same equipment?
Yes, it's for the same equipment with the same amount of storage. And we went to where we can have 32, from 16 to 32 on the camera board, on the DVR. So, and we asked for enough storage for 4 weeks from all the companies and showing everybody where we wanted the cameras placed. And so I'm not a technical geek, but it should be apples to apples.
So he could store your,
We could have up to right at 4 weeks. The camera would be motion based, so more motion, the more time it's running. Weekends it wouldn't be running. So it looks like we would hold about 4
30
weeks.
days,
Yeah.
and that's all then, man.
Correct.
And this will come out of your budget, right?
Right. I'll pay for that out of my rec budget. We've got to get something outside, for sure.
Does that got, have, night vision type on it too?
Yes.
Okay.
And we've got outdoor lighting, you know, so. Not a big issue anyway with that part, portion.
Is there a time frame from one get to it over the other? I mean,
I don't know about that. I don't know a time frame from anybody, Commissioner. I'm sure the cameras would have to be ordered, so.
Yeah.
Mr. Patterson, anything?
No, I think the cameras are needed, and, you know, with the rec department growing as it is, we need to look at that, and, I think we need to go ahead, do it.
I'm all for it too. I think the only issue I have is, of course, the price, but I don't see, he's with ETC, and, I've dealt with a lot of cameras, and it's just I just think it ought to stay, my suggestion. I'm for it, but I think we ought to stay with one company you're with.
Do you have a recommendation?
Of course, it's my budget, I won't be the
Yeah.
guy, but,
Well, I know it.
but I do understand what he's saying.
And I understand what you're saying too. I'm also looking at $4,600 difference. You know?
Yeah, I'm telling you, when you get into technical stuff, it's costly. But you said it was the same equipment.
Yes.
It's $4,600 difference. That's half of what Blue Ridge Surveillance is offering. And I mean, I understand won't stay with ETC, and you know, is there any residual prices after this? I mean, is there monitoring fees from any of them, anything like that?
And ETC will still monitor the fire alarm and all that stuff, that's not changing, it's just the cameras, ETC installed that, but they'll still monitor the fire alarms and, you know, that, all the security stuff is through those guys. They did do the install on the cameras. I think they're Honeywell, was that what they use? You may know more about it.
I think that's Honeywell.
I just feel like if we're gonna do that, that $4,600 comes into play in my mind, it does. Because that's, if we're comparing apples to apples, And I understand we wanna stay with the same company, but I still look, if especially if it's coming out of your budget, that is $4,600 difference. That's $4,600 that we could do something else with, so, I'll tell you what I would like to do, if possible, in y'all's approval, is I would like to take a look at those and just make sure that we're 100% apples to apples.
I'll email you.
If we can do that, I wouldn't mind tabling until we can all take a look at it and make sure we're 100%.
Sure, absolutely. Have no problem with that. Have no problem.
All right with that?
We just need to get some camera coverage, especially in the
Yeah.
parking lots. That's,
You good with that, Commissioner Patterson? Gives us,
Yes, that sounds like a plan.
okay.
I'm good with that.
That gives us time to kind of look, all of us to look it over and make sure it's, so we'll table it till our next meeting.
February
Yeah, February the 8th. Okay?
and just give y'all an update, we just received news today, I talked to Commissioner Hensley. We've been working on a grant, there's a boost grant came out for, after-school programs. The state of Georgia, the Department of Education is pushing folks like us to offer stuff with after-school, with continuing education and providing snacks and all that, which we've had that program for a while. But we've pursued that thing for about 6 or 7 months and just went through tons of red tape paperwork, and Lorraine Painter done a great job, but we were awarded $53,000 a year per year for the next 3 years. So we're just totally stoked to get that grant and keep providing that service for our kids. So that's $159,000
That's
for
fantastic.
the next 2 years. So
Congratulations.
appreciate that. That's all I got. Thank you.
All right,
Thank
thanks,
you.
sir. Okay, number 8, Public Works Director Zach Ratcliffe. Emergency bid, excuse me. Apologize. Hang on a minute, Dave. So we're gonna play this next. I make a motion that we table, Mr. O'Neill's request for the cameras till our next regular meeting, which is February the 8th. I'll make a motion.
Second motion.
All in favor?
Uh,
Sorry about that, my bad. So now, emergency bid proposal for repair of Newport Bridge.
It's an emergency, right?
It's an emergency.
Okay. All right, I don't know how many bids we got in.
We have two.
Two, right?
Bridge, the repair, all was it. Then two more, then two. So I'm not getting into that. I know. All right, this is from North Georgia Concrete out of DeLonica, for the Newport Road at New Tilton Creek Bridge. Attached, you will find the final scope of work. Please note some materials required to perform these repairs may take 4 to 6 weeks lead time to appropriately account for availability, scheduling, product, and procurement. And the bid is $78,360. No, that's for one element of it, I'm sorry. The total bid price is $184,900. $184,990. And they've got their bond and their insurance. $184,990, North Georgia Concrete Incorporated. That's it. No. And this is from Tower Construction Company. Doesn't have any kind of cover letter as to lead time or anything. And the total bid price is $221,499. $475.62. $221,475.62, and it is from Tally Construction out of Rossville, Georgia.
Where's those others from, Lynn, that first one?
Dahlonega.
Oh, okay, so.
It's a pretty good jump there.
Yeah, I did pick up some references, because these folks called and asked, some different questions on, so I had to pull some references to see what, and, the North Georgia Concrete was a pretty reputable company, so I'm pretty confident that would be what is the talent.
So it gives them 2 to 4 weeks to complete the job, right?
Yeah, they told me 90 days, and I said, no, we're going 60. They will, and this, what code thing is now, he said the materials might, he might could come up with materials quicker, but that was be the work. So, there's a lot to do up there that they can be doing to that point.
Commissioner Searcy?
Oh, I'm fine. Is that who you recommend, Zach? Is it North Georgia?
Price wise, yes, sir, that'd be the, that'd be what I'd be recommending.
You ever dealt with these people?
No, sir, I've talked to people who have.
Okay.
Commissioner Patterson?
Don't cut out a little bit, but I'm assuming that North Georgia Concrete, it's a lot cheaper. If they're a good, reliable company, I would think we'd be going there. North Georgia Concrete out of Dahlonega. Is that what Johnny said?
Yes, sir.
We do have a cash bond.
Okay.
They will, I don't know if it's in the package or not, but we should have a cash bond with them if something happens.
Yeah, they have their bond stuff
Okay,
in there.
so we did that, so if something comes up, we do have, hold some money for theirs.
I think for the scope of the work that they're doing and everything that I've seen, I think it's a pretty good price, actually.
Yeah, it is.
So, you ready to vote?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll ask for a motion that we award the bid to fix the new Tootley Creek Bridge or Newport Bridge to North Georgia Concrete out of Dahlonega in an amount of $184,990. I'll ask for that motion.
I'll make a second.
Johnny makes a motion, I'll second. All in favor? All right, good deal.
Thank you.
Zach, got that, now that money there comes out.
Splosh.
Splosh.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Yeah. Yep. So hopefully get this thing up short.
We'll call him right now and see if
I'm gonna text Joe, let him know it's on the way.
all right.
So you said 90 days? Yes, sir.
We're, I'll just say this, we're thankful that we was able to get this gentleman up from Atlanta.
Hey, I
to help us out with
come
this.
to town on that bridge.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
If it wasn't for him, I think we would still be,
Y'all been very timely on this, 90 days from bid completions. It surprises me.
so it brings us to our favorite part, public commentary. So if anybody wants to speak, raise your hand, come up. Mr. Webb.
I'm Joe Webb. I live in the southern part of the county down in Dial. Like to literally support Sherry Morris and Family Connection in the first place. You all are correct. We have a great volunteering community here, and it's amazing. A lot of those 70 volunteers also volunteer at the theater. They might volunteer at the library and a number of other places, but there are hundreds of people in this community who want to help and do help, so that's good. Like to look at some of the big things we're facing this year. I noticed Gordon Riddick in the back. Gordon has had the privilege of being the chairman of the Fannin County Library Trustees. I've had that privilege also. I've served on the Friends of the Library Board for 14 years, so I literally have 20 years of library board experience here in Fannin County. I'm here to say in 1994, when I moved up here, I came to the library, got a library card, registered to vote, then went next door because the library was right down here on this ground and got my membership to the Arts Association. We literally, 20 years ago, we paid off the bond now, tore down that library and built this building. and we haven't really done an adequate replacement since. And I know that y'all have this on your big agenda for next year, but I'm saying to you that the community stands ready to support the effort for a new library. So we want to see that go forward. Big items this year, we got the splosh vote coming up. We can basically consider a T-splosh if we care to. We have the comprehensive plan. All these should be big public involvement sort of things. So I'm encouraging y'all to continue what y'all are doing, which is inviting the public to participate. We really appreciate that and want to be involved. A little comment on the cameras. At the theater in our building, 10,000 square feet, we literally have about 12 cameras, thank you. It's interesting. We have them outside, so I very much suggest, yeah, we get cameras at the rec center. Now that said, did not Blue Ridge Surveillance win the bid for the jailhouse a couple of weeks ago?
They did.
Okay, so basically, if we're trusting them to do the jailhouse, hopefully we can trust them to do the county park also, because again, as a citizen, when I look at the lowest to highest bid, and you got a 50% differential, as the chairman said, thank you for tabling and looking at that further. One item that we have left over from last year is how we handle the product fund from the hotel tax. I'm still standing in front of you from the theater saying my hand is out, I need guidance for how we proceed with this process. I got confused at the last meeting between us controlling the money here or them being the fiduciary agent over there, as said in the newspaper. So there's still confusion out there. I understand there's three components. What I thought I heard when y'all were discussing it was, one, the chamber would act as an administrator to literally pre-qualify bids, make sure the agency was eligible, yada, 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 and that the county would actually control the money as we budgeted in the county's accounts, and that the county would make the final decisions on what we were doing with that money. And I'm still a little confused, so I'm still waiting for guidance. Thank you.
We'll get it to you. Thank you. Anyone else?
Okay. Ginger Rogers, I spoke to you guys a couple of weeks ago. Just wanted to follow up to see if there were any, if you knew the answer to whether or not we do safety inspections before we do vacation rental permits in Fannin County. Second thing, I'm not sure if I can ask questions, but I did want, because I don't know, so I just was curious if there was somewhere I could go check, or if you could provide any insight on what exactly we're allowed to use SPLOST dollars for. And this comes from Sherry speaking just now. I start thinking about 1 in 6 people in Fannin County that I might know that are hungry. That's a hard thing for me to take, growing up here, to think that 1 in 6 of the people that live here could be using the food pantry right now. So those are the questions I had.
So SPLOST dollars, there are certain things that you can spend it for, and I think it is at the Department of Community Affairs that they have like a list.
Well, actually, there's a statute that says what you can use it for, and
Would hungry people be one of those things
it's
on the
actually
list?
not. You have to do it, it has to be things, more of an infrastructure to it. Now, could the county build a homeless shelter? I've never seen that done with
Kitchen,
one.
restaurant?
I've never seen it done with one. But that's not to say that sometimes monies are used for, like, if we didn't have the SPLOST, we'd have to fund roads and bridges out of our tax dollars of other revenues. So sometimes when you can do a SPLOST project, there's something else over here that can be funded. And it's just like going to look and see if we can use some of that other money that none of us anticipated. There's no such thing as free money, but as long as we're throwing it out there, we'll take our fair share.
Yeah.
And see if we can do that. We run into an issue, I'm just going to answer one of your other questions. about inspections of private homes.
Health inspections, safety inspections.
Yeah,
yes.
of private homes, because just that, they're private homes. And.
Even when they apply for a permit to become
Yeah,
Airbnb.
but, and that's something, I'm not saying it's not a great idea, but that's something that I would think the Gold Dome will have to address.
Well, I noticed there were a few counties in Georgia that are doing it already. One of them being Hall County. They're doing safety and fire inspections prior to giving a permit. And, you know, I love people to come here. I get, you know, I'm all about meeting new people, love people coming here because I love it here. But, you know, at the same time, you don't want them to fall off a deck off the side of the mountain because the handrails or the porch railing's too short, you know. So that was just one of the things I thought about. But I'll be happy to email you the counties in Georgia
Please
that
do,
are
because we
doing that.
Starting, do we have our lodging ordinance next week?
Next week, yeah,
In
the
2
eighth
weeks,
and the.
we'll have the public hearings on lodging ordinances.
Okay.
So great timing.
Thank you.
And also, while you're up,
Yes.
you know, you brought up another suggestion maybe last week,
Yes, sir.
or the last meeting, I'm sorry. We have also been working on that, so I mean, it's not,
Well, the-
we haven't forgotten you.
Well, we have, you know, it would just be nice to be able to get those property tax things in order, and there might be more money then to help people like Sherry that are trying. I mean, I know she's trying, I went to school with Sherry.
Yeah.
I know she's a hard worker,
Yeah.
and she'll figure out a way to do it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, we'll close the public commentary. Brings us down to executive session. Jim, I think we need executive session this evening, so I'll make a motion that we go into executive session. All in favor? All right. Executive session. All in favor?
I'm an Indian giver. You said something about me in there.
All right, so while in executive session, we talked about real estate, no actions taken. That being said, I'll make a motion, we adjourn. All in favor? All right. Sorry to keep you up.